Rabbonim, revered guests, I'm flabbergasted. I didn't know I was getting a presentation this evening, and it's indeed a great honour. It's already a huge privilege to be here with and behalf of Bonei Olam to say a few words. But to receive the presentation, I'm deeply honoured, and thank you very much indeed. I want to say a few words tonight, and it was difficult to know how to put what I wanted to say into words. I'm used to talking science and medicine, and believe me, I'm not going to talk about that tonight. So let me start by saying, what price the life of a child? Strange question, but something Bonei Olam and its supporters fully understand. Of course, I don't just mean financial cost. What price the life of a child born without a devastating genetic disorder when it was likely to happen? What price to save the life of a child afflicted with a disease causing it an incurable and terminal anemia? What price the pain and the devastation that a couple and a family go through when they can't have children of their own? These are all enormous costs to individuals and to society. Since I was associated with the birth of the world's first test tube, as it was so called, IVF, in vitro fertilization baby, those 32, nearly 33 years ago, the price, quote unquote, has been in the cost of strenuous debate in the legal, moral, social, religious, governmental, ethical and cultural issues. Worldwide, the treatment of infertility when I first started was very, very basic. When IVF technology became apparent, it introduced the science of infertility. And since then, the science has moved on, and we have learned and developed so much. You'll hear a lot. You've already heard quite a lot about the pain and the suffering, and it is one of medicine's great tragedies. Yet in all of this, who has remained firm in the belief that paramount to human value, essential to family well-being and religious principle, it has been the Jewish faith. In its own teachings and rabbinical pronouncements, have been a constant support for couples faced with the pain of infertility and the struggle with genetic disease. But my own dealings with Rabbi Jacobovitz in the early 1980s helped me enormously to continue to do what I wanted to do for infertile couples, despite the huge objections at the time. Those few of us who believe that these dilemmas represent a clinical imperative have worked tirelessly to develop technologies to help couples and families overcome such devastation in their personal lives. And let's not kid ourselves, great, great successes have been achieved. The marvel of in vitro fertilization, and now today the genius of molecular biology, and the infinite meld of human minds have, in modern practice, given patients such prospects that, well, allow me to quote from Bonei Olam's own inspiration. I quote, "Hope today, tomorrow a child." Indeed, that mantra is so realistic for almost all couples requiring our medical scientific support. But there is a real price in terms of the delivery of a service. It is a very, very expensive technology. Mind you, I always say it's a very expensive technology. Indeed, it's a lot of money. But sometimes I wonder, when you put it in context with what happens and in context in other professional medical and non-medical lives, the actual cost of the technology is very reasonable for what we're trying to achieve. Patients, first of all, come for a consultation. They then have to decide with the specialists on a myriad of treatments now. It's not just the basic routine procedures that they used to have years ago. We have a whole range of scientific options. And then just in bringing about the process of fertilization, there are different types of procedures. Very complex equipment in very complex laboratories with a whole range of staff. It may take several days to undergo these procedures, many days of visits to the clinics. All of this does, of course, have a huge cost, especially when very fine and very highly trained specialist experts are involved. Childlessness, as you know, is a worldwide problem of huge proportions. About 1 in 6 couples fail to achieve their dream without help. That is a huge medical problem. IVF, with its new developments, its technologies for helping women produce eggs when they have great difficulties, how we fertilize them outside the body. We examine them now for chromosome disorders, new technology that was never around a few years ago, that is now incredibly accurate and sophisticated. We also understand a new area of what we call reproductive immunity. It's a whole new dimension for us that we didn't realize a few years ago is becoming so important. All this has raised success rates dramatically. It is imperative, however, that we see these couples as early as possible. One of the things that is not fully appreciated is the earlier they get to treatment, the more successful it's likely to be. And a lot of it is down, of course, as we know, to the age of the female. But the development of these technologies has borne fruit in so many ways. We now have technologies that can look at the genetics of the tiny conceptus even before it goes back in the womb. So we can help couples embark on a pregnancy free of a genetic disease that family may have been afflicted with generation after generation. And we can help couples embark on a pregnancy in the hope of giving them a child we know will be free of that disease. And what a miracle that is. And this is especially important for Jewish couples. How many are aware that 1 in 4 Ashkenazi Jews carry a genetic disorder? 1 in 4. Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews have a much, much higher incidence of at least 16 of the devastating genetic disorders, for example, compared to the general population. Much higher incidence. Diseases such as Tay-Sachs, Canavan, cystic fibrosis, Gaucher's. We were the first in the world to treat a couple with Gaucher's disease to ensure they had a child that didn't have Gaucher's disease. G6PD deficiency, a whole range of them that Jews are much more prone to. And that's just to name a few. And Bonei Olam knows a thing or two about helping such families. With all sincerity and honesty, I was in awe. I literally was awestruck when I learned that Bonei Olam have brought into this world or helped to bring into this world 2,596 babies. Now, I say this as a practitioner, not as a member of the charity. This is a staggering number for any single charity. And I truly wonder if it has been bettered anywhere in the world, and I bet not. And in my organization alone, Bonei Olam have helped couples to have children that are free of genetic conditions, such as Marfan syndrome, Fragile X, Pompe, a whole range of them. I won't bore you with them. And that's just in my organization alone. We have new technologies that can analyze chromosomes. Bonei Olam have supported couples with that as well. Bonei Olam do not just fund. And I want to stress this. What is so good about this organization, from my perspective, is they tend to seek out the best practitioners and technologies that may help those in need. Because not everybody is equal. Not all practitioners are as good. Not all practitioners have access to high-level technologies. Bonei Olam are out there. They ask questions. They seek information that they can provide the best for the couples that they want to help. So my take-home message: infertility and childlessness and genetic disease are not only devastating medical conditions, they affect families and communities in a way that too few, especially governments, except perhaps the Israeli government, and society at large appreciate. I praise the work of Bonei Olam. I have not seen the like of it in over 35 years in this field, since the beginning of IVF. For our children's sake, we cannot, as Bonei Olam themselves quote, and I quote from them, watch and remain silent as our children's dreams turn to dust and their hopes are dashed. So, as I open this short speech with what price the life of a child, I say, enabling a family to have a child is giving life to future generations. To give to Bonei Olam is to give to our children's future. For me, that is the price of humanity. Thank you.